I'm still here. Don't worry. I was gone for 2 weeks. I was in Japan. Traveled there for a bit of a work opportunity, and also it was a good reset. And I want to share a little bit about that experience, but also just reflect on the American experience as it is right now and kind of what is happening. I think as creative people, particularly as a designer, humans are at the center of our work. And it's hard for me to ignore the human pain and suffering and distress that is happening right now. And I want to approach this in a way that is authentic to me and who I am and how I see the world because I think that matters. As a creative, it's hard to separate the work that I do from who I am. Some people say you can separate art from artists, but I don't know if that's necessarily possible because we are the sum of all of our experiences, good, bad, and everything in between, right? And looking at the United States now, I mean, if I go back, I don't know if that's necessarily possible because we are the sum of all of our experiences, good, bad, and everything in between, right? And looking at the United States now, I mean, if I go back to when I last posted the video, there seems to be a priority to identify and remove individuals that the government suspects are guilty of crimes. And even the very idea of crime is one that I think is sometimes prescriptive more so than descriptive. And the asymmetry in this conversation has become glaringly apparent to me that we are losing focus. When I say we, I mean collectively. I'm not trying to identify any of you individually, but collectively losing some of our humanity, or at least our capacity to care and empathize and understand and extend ourselves in ways that recognize the humanity of others. A long time ago, I was Mormon. I don't really talk about my faith on this channel, but as I said, I was going to keep it real with you. So a long time ago, I was Mormon, and I remember being a missionary. So one of the people on bicycles, and I met this wonderful lady and her family. And it wasn't until later that I would discover her situation and status in this country. And she told me a story about how she came to the United States, flew here, overstayed on a visa, but was a hard worker. I mean, the I don't want to say stereotypical, but the expected careers that you would take if you're kind of living on the fringes of a system or the outside of a system. Those are the things she would do. And she was hardworking. She was earnest. She was a wonderful human. I've lost contact and track of her since, but I do recall her saying that after her first visit, she was deported. And, because she circumvented the rules, and at the time, you get caught, you get kicked out. And I was much more conservative in my views then than I am now. Okay, I had a very high sense of justice and right and wrong, and I felt like I knew certain things, but I didn't really know. I just believed, right? So she then continues to tell me a story about how and why she risked everything to come to this country. Not to commit crimes, but to be a productive member of the society. Now, there's probably people who disagree with that. I suspect in the comments or maybe in messages, people will say that I'm excusing bad behavior, whatever. But I'm sharing this because listening to that story did something to me. It changed me because she told me about coming to the border, walking across a desert with her and her loved one or loved ones. I don't remember if she had one or two children at the time, and how absolutely distressing and risky of a move that was. But they saw that there was an opportunity here, and they were not criminals. They were well meaning individuals. And that is where I think sometimes humanity crashes into the reality of the systems and structures that are in place that on its face appear uncompromising and relentless in their examination of situations, almost as if they're trying to approach this idea of justice, whatever that is. But with any system, we can see that there is exceptions. There are cases in which justice is not served, or justice perhaps looks the other way. And in my older age, my son calls me Unc now, I would say I've gained additional perspective to realize that these exceptions are related more so to economic status and who you know than how you live your life. It's an interesting time to be alive. I'm trying to be generous and cautious in how I address this, particularly because I think sometimes we conflate politics with people and the humanity. I keep coming back to humanity. As a designer, my job is to deliver solutions that make a difference in people's lives. Sure, there's the commercial side of things. At the end of the day, you have to sell something, you have to help your client be profitable and successful in the system that has been constructed, that we were born into without choice, but merely we're led to understand to the extent to which we can and made to participate in, right? But regardless, all of us are people, all of us are humans, all of us have a father and a mother. Even if you don't know them, you didn't grow up with them and came from a myriad of circumstances. We are people in all of this. These are people. And perhaps you've seen videos, you've seen reports, you've seen things that are happening that have touched your soul, I hope, because they certainly have disturbed my soul. And as a creative person, again, working in a space where I deal with humanity, people, making lives better, it's hard to see what's happening and not yearn and want a better future, a more empathetic, generous, magnanimous future. Because as people, I believe we have the capacity to do so. There's a line from the movie Inception that I particularly love. And it goes, "You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bit bigger, darling." And I think we could all do with a little bit bigger dreaming of what is possible and not merely focusing on the potential negatives and the fear that's born out of ignorance or maybe a lack of understanding. Our conversation, because again, that conversation with that immigrant changed my life. And interestingly enough, even though I had those views at the time, I was an immigrant too. I am an immigrant, and I'm now a naturalized citizen. And as you've seen on this channel, my journey has been one of stepping into my own and who I am, acknowledging my roots. I'm trying to reclaim how I talk, how I think, who I am, and not shy away from those things that make me who I am as a person. And it's an interesting time for me to do so when, quite frankly, doing so might lead to an existential crisis, threat, where as a full-time single father, the disdain and contempt that others might have for people like myself might lead to unfortunate circumstances, but I cannot be silent in the face of injustice at this moment. And this is one of many things that are happening. But in the United States, particularly, it's one of those things that is top of mind. There's also the files that have been released. There is also the erasure of people happening around the world, whether it's in the sub-Saharan African region or the Middle East. These are real things that are happening. And it's a heavy and strange place to be as a creative, to be bathed in so much awareness, because we have the technology and the means to be aware and informed, but also trying to muster and feel like I can be inspired to inspire others despite what's happening, and to be sharp and uncompromising and very clear that these things are not okay. It's unacceptable. There has to be a better way. I mentioned that growing up I was Mormon, and I'm no longer, in case you're wondering. And one of the most important things I did for myself, and have done and still do to this day, is to examine the stories with which I find myself in the current moment. And what I mean by that is sometimes the things we believe, the things we think we know, the perspectives and opinions we have are really just stories, borrowed stories from other people, or either borrowed or they gave them to us, right? And it's worth asking yourself, why, what, how, right? Is this real? Is this right? Is this true? What does all that mean? I don't think a lot of people pause to ask themselves that question, because when you do ask yourself those questions, you start to peel back the layers on your reality, and you start to realize that there are systems and structures in place that you participate in that perhaps you have not truly thought about and have not made a conscious decision to understand and engage with. That's as much as I'll say there, but I do encourage you to ask yourself the questions. And before you comment out of anger, if you've made it this far in the video, maybe you feel like I'm speaking to you and I'm calling you this or that, or just by broaching the topic and raising some awareness and expressing my disdain for how people are treated, that you feel attacked. Ask yourself why. Why do you feel attacked? Why do you feel it's a problem? Why do you feel that this is the right way to treat people, kicking in their doors, in sometimes early in the morning, pulling people into the cold, taking people's lives when they're observing what is happening. And also, why do so many feel the need to paint someone as having committed some crime or done something or made some mistake that somehow justifies them losing their life, their rights, their freedom? Ask yourself those questions, because I don't think it's okay. As always, if you appreciate my words here, I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. As I said, it's hard to muster the creativity to like get myself into the mindset when so much is happening. And as I promised, I would keep it real. Now, I just realized I forgot to talk about Japan. But maybe I'll do that in another video. I can show you some footage and talk about the differences and also recognize the reality of that experience and tell you a little bit about why I went as well. But in the meantime, keep your eyes open, keep your heart open, stay frosty, and never forget. Never forget, these are not merely ideas. These are people with emotions, with feelings, with lives. And love is always more powerful than hate. Love to you all. Take care.